Blog Talk Radio.
This episode of Video Marketing Madness is made possible by Aweber. Aweber, the easy way to go and do emailing newsletters, collect leads, and much, much more. If you want to do email marketing, check out Aweber right away at raisebonuses.com/Aweber. And today's guest is a very special close friend of ours. It's Mr. John Bendever, who's going to talk to us a little bit about websites. So we don't talk a lot about websites specifically, but today is the day.
All right, good deal.
He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.
It's the online marketing radio show, Video Marketing Madness with Ray the video guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper. You can like our Facebook page at facebook.com. What the heck?
Hello.
What fell?
Not me.
Okay. You can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Video Marketing Madness. Get plenty of useful tips and news of the week. And if it's not showing up in your news feed, just go to the page and like a few of the posts, Video Marketing Madness, and then it'll show up in your news feed. And then Ray's Facebook Mastermind group is groups/online video marketers. Get views for your videos and questions answered. We're live Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can join the conversation at 818-369-1423. Ray's video marketing tip of the week is coming up at the end of the show. And, John, I was looking at your website, and you've got quite a list of things you're good at. Internet marketing, WordPress, web design, search engine optimization, Google Places, landing page conversion, call tracking, lead generation, video marketing, and what's this Cold Fusion? I mean, what's that Cold Fusion?
I think that might be a sleeper page that should be deleted.
Oh, no, I made up the Cold Fusion.
I know.
Yeah, they've never figured out how to do that. So anyhow.
It's part of the whole Apple Car thing, I think.
Yeah, the Apple Car. I got a little news on the Apple Car thing today too. So
Nice.
Do we just want to get into news of the week?
Heck yeah, jump right in.
Now, John, if feel free to interrupt me on any of this stuff and make your comments. It's quite all right. Ray does that, so news of the week. We didn't have a show last week, so I've got a lot of news of the week here.
Oh, good.
Some of it I threw away because it was kind of outdated. But, okay, and I downloaded this morning. This comes from Search Engine Land. Google is testing green star reviews in the search results. So, you know, normally how the colors are orange or yellow stars.
Right.
Yeah, they're testing green stars.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's cutting edge.
I guess eventually we'll have all the colors from the Google logo, huh?
That's right. Ooh, man, it's snowing like crazy in Omaha. I just looked outside and it's snowing like crazy. John, you're in Florida, aren't you?
I am. I'm based in Florida. I travel to East Tennessee quite a bit because I've got family there. So I'm actually looking at snow myself just outside the Knoxville area.
Yeah, oh, yeah. They get snow there. Absolutely, they get snow. That's
I have no snow right now.
Don't really?
It's actually pretty nice.
Knoxville's a pretty area. I mean, nice, you know, home of the University of Tennessee, right? I got that right?
You did, yes, sir. The Volunteers.
Yeah. Whenever I used to travel a lot, and so every time I was in a college town, I would go see the stadium. So I saw the Volunteer Stadium. I drove around it. And they got a good recruiting class coming in. I think you all should. Are you a Volunteer fan? Or?
Absolutely not.
Okay. so much for that. Then.
I'm Florida born and raised, so I tend to go for any team in Florida that's playing somebody else.
I see.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. Well, they are in the SEC, and they got a good recruiting class coming in, so that's of note. Okay, this is from Search Engine Land. Google to test social casino game ads.
Whoa.
Yeah. Google is loosening restrictions on certain gaming ads because they need the money. They're going to beta test social casino game ads and AdWords sometime in March. They'll be included in a new standard sensitive ad category. With slowing growth and mobile challenges, this is one way Google can open up to a growing category of advertisers that so far doesn't come with regulatory issues that affect traditional gaming advertising. Farmville is what, and mobile is driving the surge in social casino gaming. Expect to hit $4.4 billion this year.
That's a lot of cake.
Yep. Serious cake. Okay. What else do I got? This comes from Search Engine Land. Google gives businesses more photo control with My Business upgrade. It's an upgrade to the Google My Business product. Here's what they said. Starting today, you can tell us which image you'd like to appear when customers search for your business on Google.
That's probably a good thing for them to do.
Yeah, that's very useful. Because right now you're at the mercy of whichever one you upload first.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And they tell you how to do that. All these stories are on Facebook.com/Video Marketing Madness. If you're not getting
that page,
it's beautiful. If you're not getting it in your news feed in Facebook, just go to the page and like a few of the posts, and should get more of them.
That's ironic. I guess I should do that because, honestly, I don't think I ever see them in my news feed.
Yeah, well, and that's yeah. I was thinking about that because now John does. John likes them quite a bit. I've noticed. But
I try to be pretty active, especially in stuff like video and SEO. I don't want to miss any tidbits people are throwing out there.
Yeah, and I pay attention to the tidbits and post them in there. But I noticed we haven't been getting as probably good a reach as we should for the number of fans we got. So
have you seen they're reducing the organic reach of photos now, and your timeline posts have gotten even smaller.
I've noticed that with photos.
Yep.
Yeah, I've actually seen that with photos.
Yeah, I didn't realize it until Michelle McPherson posted something about it on her personal profile. Okay. I didn't even see it on her page.
Yeah, I anecdotally knew that because some posts I used to make used to get a lot better reach, and the reach is pretty poor now with the photos. I have noticed.
Too bad.
Engadget.com, ENGADGET. Google is showing gas stations on your route.
Interesting.
And it's based on the direction you're driving.
Well, that's probably a smart thing.
Yeah. None of these things are all that exciting, but they're of note, I guess. Okay, here's the Apple Car thing from Bloomberg. This is a couple weeks old, but let's see. The project is codenamed Titan, and the design resembles a minivan.
That's what we hear.
And this article in Bloomberg says they have expertise managing a vast supply chain and technology that lends itself to an electric car, and they've been rating Tesla's people.
Right. Yeah, that's a big thing right now. Is the whole a lot of the Tesla guys, I guess, have been jumping ship, which is interesting. But there was a guru of business who was saying that within 2 years Apple will buy Tesla.
Oh,
so we'll see how that goes and if that's true. But that's the supposed rumor.
Yeah, an executive from General Motors said, geez, you really want to do that?
An executive from General Motors should actually pay attention to what they're doing instead.
I know. Yeah.
What does their electric car do? 40 miles and then it's dead?
Yeah, I wouldn't use General Motors as the...
it's kind of sad, actually.
Yeah, the benchmark of technology that
I was looking at that, and it's like you've got and not to toot the horn of one car company over another, because they're all cars, but Tesla, you've got a bloody sports car that does it does ridiculous speeds, and it gets like 300 miles on a charge, and then you've got GM putting out the little teeny crappy looking Volt, and it does 40 miles. That's it, 40 miles, folks.
Mm-hmm.
So how is that useful in any way, shape, matter, or form, unless you're just driving up to the corner street?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get where their head is.
You certainly can't drive to the next town, and that's why you would need these, is to save money. People putting mileage on cars.
Well, I'm not a huge proponent of the electric car thing in a lot of ways as it is. I mean, people keep saying, oh, it's better for this and it's better for the environment. It's well, where do you think the electricity comes from, bozos? Do you think it just magically flies out of the sky into the car? No. You're not burning gas in your car, so you're burning coal to make the electricity. I mean, what's the difference?
Now, what Mike Koenigs did was set up
That's where it gets exciting and different, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What are the solar cells?
Yeah, he powers his house with the sun, and then powers the car with the house.
Yeah,
his Tesla, and so that makes perfect sense. He hasn't paid a gas bill or an electric bill in years, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But for most people, they're just plugging it into the wall and thinking, hey, I'm being, I'm environmentally friendly. Well, yeah, except for where you're getting the electricity from. Not that I'm, saying that that's bad either, but don't kid yourself either. At the same time, it's got to come from somewhere, folks.
I drive a 97 station wagon.
There you go.
Chicks dig it.
I laugh about that all the time, and because I see people, I see neighbors and things who, and not that I know what everybody around me makes as far as money and all that, but I see them driving in these nice fancy cars, and I'm thinking, I know you don't make a lot of money. And I'm sitting here driving a 2002 car that's, seen better days because I'm too cheap to go buy a new one. But I don't know. I don't get it. It's like, this car still runs. I'm not going to complain. My heart doesn't go anywhere anyway. But
that old Mercury station wagon of mine, I put $2,000 in it last year. That's the first time I put any serious money into it.
You know what?
Ever.
Ironically, the car that I have sitting out there that I was talking about is also a Mercury.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing it's the same car, except yours is the station wagon version.
Yeah, probably. Mine's the kind of the Sable wagon version.
Yep, that's what I've got. I've got the Mercury Sable, and it's not the wagon, but same car. It's got like 200,000 miles, and and just like you, I haven't even put $2,000 into that car, and I've had it for 12 years or 13 years, whatever it's been.
Yeah.
Except for tires, I go through a lot of tires.
Well, I do too. I figure I'm going to have to. The air conditioning works, but the heater doesn't work too well. My daughter's got that car now, and she's going to be going to college next year. She's about an hour down the road, so I should probably get the heater fixed in it.
And I figure people right now are going, "What the heck is going on here? What am I listening to?"
Apple is going to make cars. Okay. That's
yes, Apple is going to make cars.
Okay, this is from Bloomberg.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. From Bloomberg, in a move to delight kids and nostalgic adults alike.
Oh, I know what this story is.
Google and Mattel have updated the ViewMaster into a virtual reality headset.
Yes, they have. And it looks quite slick.
Is it? Yeah, I guess a lot of it keys off maps, so you can get 360-degree tours and stuff.
Well, that's much better than their other virtual reality headset thing that they were doing that was made out of cardboard.
Yeah,
so it looks a lot better.
Yeah, they said this is better than the cardboard one, and you can download the special ViewMaster app from Google Play.
Very nice.
Bloomberg.
We're
getting a lot of stuff from Bloomberg.com. Pinterest is going to have a buy button. Rumor is.
Yeah. Well, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Or Pinteresting.
Mm-hmm. Natural fit for a site where people post pictures of things they admire, places they want to go, or recipes they want to cook. I asked my adult daughter, I said, should I be on Pinterest? And she said, no, it's for girls.
No, she's wrong.
Now, I use it for my YouTube.
Oh, yeah, you should definitely be on there. And anytime you put up a YouTube video, you definitely should be.
Oh, I do. I mean, all these share sites within YouTube I use, but otherwise I don't really use Pinterest other than that. But
yeah, I certainly don't hang out on Pinterest very often.
Yeah, me either, because it's for girls.
It's for girls.
Okay, this is from BBC News, BBC.com. Vin Cerf, the father of the internet, not Al Gore, says he's worried that all images and documents we've been saving on computers will eventually be lost.
Probably.
As hardware and software become obsolete.
I wouldn't doubt it.
He said he made these remarks at the American Association for the Advancement of Science in San Jose.
I think it was Jim Gaffigan who joked about that. That we got rid of photo albums to put our stuff on our computers so that we could, save space and make it digital, make it easy, and so now we have to keep all our old computers instead of a photo album.
No, it's true.
Oh look, it's our wedding computer.
It's an XP. It's a Commodore 64. This is from Search Engine Watch. Facebook has updated its privacy policy to say that it can now track your every move.
Yep.
Even if you're logged out, and they claim this is a good thing.
I saw Minority Report. It's a great thing.
And you might want to check your privacy settings, opt out of what you can if that bothers you. They're saying we're only going to show you stuff you want to see. That's why it's a good thing.
Privacy is a false hope on the internet anyway.
Well,
that's right.
All right. You got any news, Ray?
I do not.
Okay.
I have a juicy little tidbit if I can add one.
Sure. Go for it.
I have my browser closed, so I can't tell you exactly what website it came from because I was following the rules for the podcast.
Yeah, we're not supposed to surf around the internet.
But a good friend of mine, David Schloss, posted a link yesterday to a brand new Google AdWords feature where you only pay when you receive a call. So it's no longer pay-per-click. You can pay per the call, just like pay-per-click. So it's really good for things like lead generation or any kind of online advertising that you do per call type stuff. So that's new. You're gonna have to kind of seek it out, but it is out there for you to use in your AdWords account right now.
Very cool. I'll check that out.
Yeah.
Pay-per-call, the old pay-per-call stuff was actually very interesting. So that should be a cool new addition.
Well, we figured it was coming because they started making you take the phone numbers out of your pay-per-click ads because you were kind of free advertising there.
That's right.
Yeah, so they started enforcing that a couple months ago, and now they're introducing the per-call model. So
nice.
Yep.
Well, that should be fun. That should be good stuff. Let's hope.
And now for something completely different.
Yes, and now for something completely different. We're going to talk a little bit about a subject that we all have to deal with, whether we're video marketers or not. We still end up being stuck talking about websites at some point in time, and today actually is the perfect day for that because I've been messing around with websites and pulling my hair out all morning and bugging John the whole time.
That is true.
So it's perfect that he's on today. It's the good day for it. So, John, we're going to talk a little bit about websites and what's popular these days, what is kind of new in the world of websites and how we can, make websites better. Obviously, things have changed quite a bit over the last few years, and definitely over the last decade on how websites work and the way we set them up and everything else. And so brought John on to talk a little bit about that because it's actually becoming a bigger part of my business. So I figure I'm going to get some free advice here and give it all to you. So, John, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Awesome to be here.
Yeah, we're excited about this. Now, let me start off by just kind of letting you kind of tell everybody who it is you are, so they kind of get a better idea of that and why we got you on here.
Okay. My name is John Bendever. If you ever reach out to me, good chance you'll butcher my last name, but that's okay. I started a company in January of 2004 called Local Marketing Pros, and the primary reason behind that is I was watching friends and family and people around me being taken advantage of on a price point from companies like Yellow Pages and some other major brands that would tie that into their Yellow Book advertising. And I was watching them pay thousands of dollars more than they should for the websites they were getting, and decided to offer a better solution that was more optimized and would perform better for them. So we've kind of grown from there. And now we kind of I hate to say one-stop shop. We definitely don't do cookie cutter type plans. We work with clients. We do a discovery process and put together a package that best suits their needs to bring in the traffic and the sales that they want for their business. So
nice.
Yeah.
And you said you've been doing this for 10 years now, right? 10 or 11 years?
Well, I started as a hobbyist in 2006, late 2005. And I actually started out in Joomla, and then my father-in-law, who's not very techy at all, installed WordPress for his own blog on a self-hosted shared account, and that got me interested in it because Joomla was and is somewhat difficult to work in. And so I've been doing WordPress since, I guess, early 2006. I think that my first version was like 1.8 something. And
wow.
Ever since then, I've been... Yeah, and back then there weren't near the plugins you have now, especially, the repository they have has just grown exponentially. So, yeah, we're coming up on 10 years because it was late 2005. So that's pretty cool.
Nice. Well, that is very, very interesting. So let me ask you this. When it comes to, and obviously you mentioned that you've kind of jumped onto the whole WordPress bandwagon. I shouldn't say jumped on, that was 8 years ago. But, what is new in the world of WordPress? Because obviously WordPress went from kind of this new thing that people were getting excited about to kind of the de facto standard. And now we almost start to see a little bit of kickback like, oh, well, gee, you should custom make your own websites and WordPress it's too slow compared to this and that. What's your opinion of WordPress these days? Is it still a viable way to build your websites?
Absolutely, without a doubt. Some of the largest websites in the world are on WordPress. And really it comes down to a user's experience is based on how a user uses the tool, right? We can say that about YouTube or any of the other tools out there that are given to us. WordPress.com is massive, and it's run on the same framework they give you to put on your own domain. So how you use it and how responsible you are with it is the performance you're going to get out of it. If you put 40 plugins on it and only 5 are active, you're still doing damage to your own WordPress website, right?
Uh-oh. So I'm going to need you to get into the back end of mine and clean it up at some point.
That sounds just like Ray.
Yeah. So, it's like you guys are talking about your cars and not upgrading those because they still work well. WordPress will work for you the way that you intend it to as long as you're responsible with it and maintain it.
Yeah, that's why I need somebody like you to mess around with it for me and clean up all that disaster that I've created.
Yep, and I think I've already done that a few times for you anyway. So.
Yes, you have.
John, the two platforms that I keep hearing about that I think are most popular, and this is all anecdotal just based on what I'm hearing, are WordPress and Drupal. Do you have any experience with Drupal? How do you compare to that, just out of curiosity?
I do have very limited experience with Drupal. Most of my experience with Drupal is moving somebody to WordPress.
Okay.
And here's why that is. With the WordPress community growing the way that it is, it's so convenient to find somebody. If you're in a pinch, you can find somebody quickly to help you out.
Yeah.
That's not. There's nothing wrong with Joomla. There's nothing wrong with Drupal, Concrete 5. Some of the other platforms out there, they have their place and they have their strengths and weaknesses just like WordPress. But the biggest pro for WordPress, again, is the support community that's out there. Mm-hmm. Chances are, if Ray didn't know me, he could put a quick post out there and have 3 or 4 people respond to him to help him out, with WordPress, and that would not be the case with Drupal. You would be at the mercy of Odesk or Freelancer or some other specialized service with Drupal.
Okay.
So I'm not a hater. There's definitely room out there, and there's reasons that, to do Joomla or Drupal. And even to give you guys for instance, a really good friend of mine that I've had here locally since the late 90s, he wrote a platform for reservations for the Gatlinburg area, for cabin companies and things like that. And then he was doing that on Joomla only, and he was having a horrible time because when you introduce different features into Joomla, you have to recompile different parts of it, and he was constantly having sites go down for just buggy issues. I showed him how WordPress had grown because he hadn't even looked at it. His entire platform now is run on WordPress, and he runs multi-million-dollar businesses off of that. So, watching a coder that is very meticulous about his coding and his security switch gave me a good, warm, fuzzy feeling.
Well, the other nice thing I like about WordPress, and believe me, I'm not a website guy, okay, but just about anybody can build something in WordPress if they find the right plugins, and that's the neat thing about it, for me at least, is just all the cool plugins that are available. Especially stuff designed for guys like me who are just putting up landing pages. Simple.
Yeah, and I think that's the newest thing for WordPress that has really advanced it to becoming more than just this cookie cutter look. You used to be able to, even a year ago, you used to be able to look at a website and be like, oh, that's WordPress. Now with these new visual builders and these WYSIWYGs coming out, where you can move elements around and everything's not a video on the left and an opt-in on the right, or a blurb on the left and a sign-up on the right. You can do much more advanced stuff with it. It's becoming much more, I hate the word newbie, so I'll say rookie. It's becoming much more rookie-friendly. And the multifaceted marketer can get one of those, watch the tutorial videos, and start building their own lead pages type landing pages on their own for a one-time cost within a day.
Yeah, no doubt, yeah.
And I literally make at least 1 to 2 of those every single day. And believe me, and John can attest to this, if I can create a page like that with my limited knowledge of WordPress and websites, and John can attest to my limited knowledge, then anybody can build these things. And I build them myself almost every day. I'm building, using either I'll use a Profit Builder or I'll use InstaBuilder 2. And I use them every single day, and I'm able to make some pretty nice little sales pages and landing pages. So.
Yeah, I'll have to say, the first thing you showed me, Ray, I thought you were showing me some sort of masked lead pages type product.
Right. And I use that too, but.
Well, I know you do, yeah.
But I got to be honest, I use lead pages less and less all the time, just because it's so much easier now to just go into my own and do that. For certain things, I'll still use lead pages, but for most things now, I'm using InstaBuilder or Profit Builder.
Yeah, and that's a testament to the developers that are coming out and supporting and seeing the trends in the marketplace, adjusting their product to be user-friendly and give you the same features, again, for that one time or that very low monthly subscription, as opposed to having, a premium subscription type model like a Leech Pages.
Right. And it's wonderful. Now, the only knock that I've always heard with WordPress, because people have, back in the old days, it was, it's so easy, it's so much faster, it's faster than, these custom websites and whatnot. But the one thing that always kind of hampered it, and I'm sure you probably have heard this a million times, is security issues.
Yeah.
How is that these days?
It's much better. The folks over at WordPress are very proactive when zero-day vulnerabilities or any kind of vulnerability is reported to them. You'll see maintenance releases as quickly as possible. So that's really good. And I think what's taken for granted with WordPress is the amount of control you are given. And it even took me years to learn this. There's things you can do at deployment without using something like Fantastico, which is not very Fantastico in my mind. You leave yourself very vulnerable when you use a cookie cutter solution like that. And I understand that, if you're new and you want to do that, that's great to get started, but you definitely don't want to keep deploying sites like that if you can help it. There's things built into the WP config file where you can have custom hashes. You change your MySQL prefix for your database table, so you can't be injected with malware or brute force injections to gain access to your site. There's awesome plugins out there now that are very, very affordable for redirecting your WP admin access, setting login limit attempts. What else is there out there? You can harden different files, add passwords to different folders. Some of that stuff's more advanced and people can get in trouble really quick, but the plugins they do a really good job of just like the page builders we were talking about, they do a really good job of helping you button down your site unless somebody, chances are if they want the information or they want to get into your site, it's going to happen. It's kind of like when we put, the Facebook or the stuff we were talking about earlier. If they want to listen on our microphones on our iPhones, they're going to do it. But you just need to put forth your best effort and do what you can to keep things as secure as you can.
Nice. So to take that a step further, if I'm creating a site this afternoon, what would you recommend as far as, and let's even take it farther than just security. What plugins do you think are vital for people to start adding to the site immediately?
Sure. There was one I mentioned already, limit login attempts. That's a free one in the repository. It's the name of it. You download it, put it in. And basically what it's going to do is if somebody comes across your brand new site and they start to try to log in with the infamous default admin user,
right,
it's going to stop them after a few attempts, so you can't be brute forced. From an SEO standpoint, I always use WordPress SEO by Yoast. That's personal preference. Some people like all-in-one SEO.
Yeah, I used to use Yoast. I switched to all-in-one, and now I use Yoast again. So
yeah, and Yoast makes it really easy to switch back and forth too. They got that great importer, so you can import all your settings and then delete the other one. The other thing I use is iThemes. It's iThemes WordPress Security. They have a free version, so I do the basic settings on that. Akismet, that's a paid-for product now. I have a really old account where I'm kind of grandfathered into the free, back when it was free to get an API key. But it's definitely worth the money just because the amount of spam that your site's going to get when people, even bots and stuff start to find it.
Yeah. We had a website that was pretty popular. It did very well for a long time until kind of the environment changed. It was a diet product website, and I actually ended up installing a plugin on the WordPress. Its job was just to delete comments because we would get 1,000 comments a day of just spam from people, and I'd try to block it, and it would still keep coming. So I finally had to get a plugin to just remove it all, and it was it was crazy, but it's amazing what people will do as soon as they find a place they think they can spam like crazy.
Yeah, we see that as well on some of our broader websites, some niche interest websites. We see just a crazy amount of spam. I've even got to the point where I'll put a bandwidth limit on those particular accounts, and they hit that limit every month. It's just unbelievable.
Well, you know what I found, and this goes back to the security thing a little bit, is because what eventually happened was the product we were selling, kind of went out of fashion. And so the site kind of stagnated a little bit. And then what I found was not only were people posting spam and comments, but somehow, and I don't know how they did this, and I still to this day can't figure it out, there was a whole bunch of people that were in there as admins to the site. So they could go in and actually make posts. And I have no idea how they did it. And I had to go in there and delete all these people who I had no idea who they were. There should have only been 2 of us.
Did you maintain the updates on the site?
Typically, yes, at least the basic ones, updating WordPress.
Sure.
But I don't know how they did this stuff or how they figured it. But I had all these people that were either, and I don't think they were actually admins. I think they were all listed as like contributors and things like that. And I couldn't figure out how in the world they were doing this. And I had to keep going in there and removing people who had somehow become contributors to the site.
We've had that happen on 2 sites, and it came back to the cardinal sin of giving the owner some sort of access, and they had a weak password.
Yeah. And that could well be it too.
Next thing you know, you have the Chinese flag flying with their national anthem playing when somebody comes to their website. So
we never had that. We just had people posting their own posts about different diet products.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've had that as well as the Chinese flag deal. That was very interesting.
Wow, that's crazy stuff. So what about, now we talked a little bit about SEO there. We talked about, in fact, let's talk a little bit more about SEO. Now, we talked about installing a plugin like Yoast and things like that, but what should we be doing as far as SEO on these websites, whether it's specifically the on-site stuff or the off-site stuff? And I know it used to be, you want to have your keywords X number of times, but don't overdo it, so make sure it's no more than 3% and, all these kinds of things. But what are you finding really works these days?
Well, the on-site optimization really comes down to a fine balance between user experience and Google experience. Google is still very primitive. They're still looking very heavily at text. They can scan images and things like that, fine, but it's still not a predominant part of the algorithm because they can't do it very effectively. So you definitely want to balance your SEO. And what I kind of tell people is, if they're familiar with the term, I'm sure you guys are, above the fold. That's before anybody scrolls down on your website, no matter what screen they're on. You want to have 3 things up there. You want to tell them who you are, you want to tell them what you do, and then you want to tell them what to do. So if the goal of them coming to your website is to get on your email list, make sure you tell them to do that before they have to scroll. And then after that, for me, below the fold is kind of the wild, wild west. That's where I'm going to put my SEO content. I'm going to put my pictures that are SEO optimized, and I'm going to do it conservatively because I don't want that Google penalty that is the dreaded, sandbox, disappeared, de-indexed kind of thing. Offsite, the trend has definitely been towards social. So the more social love you can get for yourself, the better off you're going to do ranking-wise. Backlinks are not dead, no matter what anybody else says. But it is more subjective now to where it's coming from with reference to the backlink and the quality of content involved with where it's coming from. So, if you're putting junk articles out there and wondering why you're still on page 5, that's why. Google still cares about quality and user experience. And with my SEO tactics, we try to be as evergreen as possible so that no matter how long that content's out there, it's more and more valuable for that business. So it adds something to the web. We're not into spamming. We're not into gaming the system. We don't do any of these crazy things that other guys, make their living off of and sell WSOs about. We want that to last for our clients, even if they decide not to do business with us anymore. So the offsite stuff, you still want backlinks, but you want them to be from good quality websites. And if you treat Web 2.0s right, and you have dedicated Web 2.0s for your business, those are great places to get your backlinks. Things like your YouTube videos and the descriptions is great. Social bookmarks on things like Facebook, Twitter, those are really important. Pinterest, Instagram. The more and more, Twitter just partnered with Google to show tweets in the search results, so that's going to be even more beneficial. So you just got to use common sense and not be too aggressive, be patient, because it does still take time. I mean, the overnight stuff that you see from these guys, it's for like long tail keywords that have 11 words in them, Right. And that could be good for you if you're in a super targeted niche. But overall, you've got to be patient for those more competitive keywords, especially in larger cities.
Nice. Yeah, and I've been doing some experimenting with that lately as well because I've just never been much of a website person. I've done websites, I've had websites and things, but most of the time it was, well, you got to have a website for your authority. Okay, when people search me, it's there, and that's kind of what it's been for. But lately, I've kind of gotten more into dealing with some more broad tactics when it comes to like local businesses and stuff. So now I'm actually doing websites along with the videos and things like that. And we found some pretty good luck just by having a good quality site, but I'm still lost when it comes to a lot of that off-site stuff and things. And I know some of it's similar to what I do with videos anyway, but, obviously it's a little more difficult. And, it's good to hear some of those things, especially with the backlinks, because, it's not like the old days. The old days are certainly gone when it comes to that.
Yeah, they're deeply missed as well, because back then it was even like a year ago on YouTube. You could just throw any kind of backlinks you wanted at a YouTube video and wake up the next morning and you're number one on Google.
Right.
But those days are gone, and again, it's consistency and patience are what it's going to pay off if you're trying to do anything in SEO. Nice.
So let me ask you this then. When it comes to going back to the SEO, obviously part of the SEO algorithm is like the speed of the loading of the site and things like that people talk about. Given all of these creators that people have for WordPress now, does that cause any issues, using some sort of page creator? Does it slow the site down? And what can we do to make sure that we're not falling into that trap of a super slow loading site?
It definitely plays a key role in it. When Optimized Press 2 came out, James and his team do an awesome job of listening to the community, and it caused some serious slowness issues with websites. It caused plugin conflicts, and they worked through all that. They did a great job with it. But the other WYSIWYG editors out there, they if the code's not clean, it can definitely slow the site down. So to counteract that, you want something like Hypercache or Supercache. I like Hypercache personally because it's very easy. It's got new and advanced, new user-friendly and advanced-friendly settings. So if you just want your site to load quickly, you can install it, do the basic settings, check a few boxes, apply it, and it's going to load. And that's going to counteract the WYSIWYG and the advanced features on your site, because if anybody listening is not familiar with how a caching plugin works, it basically pre-executes the PHP on your site and stores static HTML files so that those can be served quicker to the end user. So, and it refreshes that every so often according to whatever your settings are. So that's definitely probably the most effective way to battle that.
Nice. That's really good to hear, because I've had people tell me some of that stuff before, because I had a real issue going back about a month ago where my sites were just loading just crazy slow. And, I was dealing with the web host, because I still to this day think it was them more than it was me, only because it kind of came on all of a sudden and eventually it went away. But, we tried all those different things, the super caches and a few other products, and some of the other products seemed to cause more problems than they fixed. And, and now I've probably got a million plugins on there that probably should just be deleted, which I'm going to do after this now that I got that advice. But, is there anything else that we should avoid? Is there something that we should really not do on a website to make sure that it performs better?
Well, if you're on shared hosting, so if you're on one of the baby Gator deals with HostGator, or you're on a Bluehost share, there's only so much you can do. Right. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to combine really high traffic sites on a shared hosting plan like that. You definitely want to step up into the professional grade of like a VPS, so that you have dedicated resources. Because shared hosting is kind of like I don't know what kind of analogy to give. I guess
it's like riding on a bus versus having your own car.
Yeah, and it's more like the old DSL internet. The top guy in line gets the most bandwidth, and
exactly.
It decreases with each website that comes down. And unfortunately, the way the data centers are set up is you have thousands of people on one VPS, and
sure.
So you're fighting for that bandwidth. And if you've got a hog of a website, well, that sets up a red flag in their monitoring software, and you get throttled down. So
I've had that happen before.
Right. Yeah, and HostGator was bought out by a company that now owns Bluehost, JustHost, and a bunch of other hosts.
Right.
And their product has been challenging since those acquisitions. And I've seen a lot of large marketers with very heavy launch sites and things like that move away. Because there's a ripple effect that happens there with the database and everything. So the one thing that I would say is definitively don't do is if you're doing something like you're running call tracking or you're doing some really heavy-duty plugins, I would definitely get some other sort of affordable shared hosting to put just those on. That's going to do two things. That's going to protect your money site domain, so you're not running something that could be slapped later from that domain, and it's going to protect the load times and the SEO of your money sites as well on your hosting.
Who do you recommend?
For budget, A2 hosting has some really great WordPress technology. They tote some Railgun and some Cloudflare technology that claims to load WordPress 20 times faster than any of the other mainstream affordable hosts. But if I want to be bulletproof with security and budget's not the primary concern, I would go to Firehose.
Okay. Firehose, huh?
Yeah. You have to VPN into their system to even FTP into your websites.
Oh.
So they are very, very secure. It's not easy on the wallet, but if you're running some huge moneymaker sites, some huge e-commerce sites, whatever, it's definitely worth the money.
Nice. And I've actually been trying to kind of decide on that lately as well. Is it time for me to move to my own servers for this kind of thing and stuff like that? And obviously, when you've been running on a shared hosting site for $875 a month,
right,
you turn around and suddenly be $300 a month or whatever it happens to be is a little bit of a sticker shock. But when you talk about high traffic sites and getting off the shared hosting, what would you consider to be high traffic?
To me, it's if we're talking local, it's going to be more than a couple hundred visitors a day.
Wow.
I mean that's going to be substantial traffic for shared hosting just because of the nature of how it's built. For national, you're looking at like 500, 700 visitors a day and more. That's going to be because for national sites, you've got to consider the scope of that site. Okay, you're looking at thousands of pages, and you're getting that many visitors to thousands. For a local site, if you're getting a couple hundred visitors a day,
they've only got 5-10 pages.
Right, which the site is small enough, but that site's loading over and over and over again. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So shared hosting is just not really built for that, especially if let's say you have 5 or 6 clients that you are sub-hosting on your shared hosting, and they're all getting, you're getting 1,000 visits a day. You're just eating your resources to pieces.
Well, and that was going to be my next question about that, because, for instance, one of the things I've been talking with you about is something that I'm trying right now, which is I've created, instead of just doing videos for local businesses and ranking them out there and leasing them and stuff, I'm getting into where I'm creating a quick website for a local type business and then doing videos and things like that. So on my hosting, I might have a plumbing site and a pet grooming site and a dentist site and things like that. So do you recommend for something like that I move up to a bigger server, or is a shared hosting okay for that, especially in a smaller city?
I would suggest if that's going to be something that you're going to be scaling out, that you should go ahead and invest in a VPS and learn now while you have a few sites. Because here's the other major benefit of something like a VPS. You can run your own, when you get a VPS, you get licensed to something called Web Hosting Management Console, WHMCS, and you can create cPanels for each of those sites. And that's important because on a shared hosting right now, if someone compromises one of your FTP accounts, they can compromise all of your sites unless it's set up correctly. Okay.
And I've seen that happen, where, especially with WordPress back in the old days. The Tim Thumb vulnerability from a couple of years ago, where it would be on one site, you'd fix that site, and an hour later your other site's doing it, and then you're chasing it around, and then of course by the time you fix all those, the first one has got it again.
Yeah, and a lot of times you don't know until somebody brings it to your attention. So
absolutely.
I've been working with a few marketers now on one of the hosts that we've already mentioned. They have shared hosting accounts, and come to find out, one of their buddies says, "Hey, why do you have all these Japanese pages on your WordPress site?" So we go and we look, and they literally have like 55,000 HTML pages inside their shared hosting across each of their websites. It's almost like the guy hit copy and paste and put the same pages on all of his different domains. And the cleanup effort on that was like 5 days. If he had been on something like a VPS and had cPanels for each one of those sites, that would not have happened. It would have happened to one domain, and he would have had it isolated. So that's another security benefit as well as a performance benefit, because you can bandwidth those different pages or domains so that if you're hitting a certain level of bandwidth, you'll be notified, and it won't be something that eats up your hosting account.
Yep, absolutely. So that's really interesting. And for the VPS, is that same host that you were talking about before, or do you have a specific recommended one for going VPS?
Well, I've used HostGator, and it's been very good up until like I said, the acquisition. The customer service has just been, very challenging. Everything's been very challenging, and so I would definitely go with A2. I think I pay about 30% more with A2, but again, I have WordPress optimized type of hosting from the get-go. So my work on the front end of sites and stuff is very, very reduced, which is a better value for me. After that, I would look at, great solution for somebody that's going to have a small amount of sites. They're not going to have a bunch of clients. Maybe they have higher end clients would be, WP Engine's pretty good. But for me, I don't like solutions like that because I want to be able to help that client with anything they need. And with WP Engine, I'm limited to my accessibility to different files, and I can't mess with configurations to help them optimize for different tools or things they're going to use.
Nice, and it's looking like the A2 doesn't look very expensive. Actually, it's actually a pretty good price here from what I'm seeing. So. Yeah,
the only thing I've given them feedback on this. The price at the top is a little deceiving. As you scroll down and see, it's $5 for that, $2 for this, $10 for that. So. If you do all the bells and whistles, like I said, I pay about 30% more than I was with HostGator. But for me, that's a cost of doing business to have peace of mind. My uptime, we won't even get into the uptime comparison because there is none. But the load speeds are considerably faster. I don't get my phone doesn't wake me up in the middle of the night with a pingdom alert that my site's down or my SQL stopped working like I was getting with the others guys. So.
Nice. Well, that's exciting. I'll definitely be looking at that. I've got the.
Did we lose Ray?
It looks like it.
Yeah. Sometimes he loses his power, so that. let's see if we can get him back here. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
Hello.
There he is.
Oh, very strange. Yeah, I was here. I was talking, and all of a sudden you guys couldn't hear me. Very odd. And it wasn't on mute.
Maybe that's some residual from having Grant Wilson on the show.
It could be. There could be a ghost in the machine. That could well be the case. But no, I was just saying, looking at the A2, it's a very affordable hosting for moving up to the VPS. It's actually cheaper than the VPS upgrades on Bluehost.
Yeah, and those guys, they're A2 because they're in Ann Arbor, Michigan. So they're U.S. based. They do have data centers in Iceland and Europe.
Right.
Iceland's not Europe, is it?
Well, I don't know if they consider themselves European.
Half of it is.
Yeah, been a long time since geography. So
half of Iceland is on the one plate, and the other half's on the other plate.
Well, they're also talking about a data center somewhere in either
that's great,
Australia
Steve.
Or.
Thanks for sharing, Steve.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate you sharing it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man.
Hey, John, I'm here if you need anything.
I appreciate that, Steve.
Steve, what are your questions about web hosting?
Right, I think you've asked all the questions. Actually, I understood pretty much everything you were saying. I'm not going to do web hosting, but I know where to go now.
Yeah, no, I've kind of understood a lot of it too, which is surprising in itself. So I'm
Well, I'm not kind of trying to toot my own horn or anything, but when you deal with business owners and stuff, you try to bring it down so that it needs to be in layman's terms.
Right.
If they get glassy eyed on you, you've lost them, and all they hear is wah 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 wah.
Wow.
So the old Charlie Brown Moms thing.
Here's the big question, because this is honestly, I've looked at a variety of VPS hostings and things like that, and I'll tell you what stops me from switching is the process of switching. How do you recommend that be done? Because that's the thing that scares the heck out of me is, okay, I'm going to switch to VPS, on A2 hosting, and I've been on Bluehost for 10 years, and I've got 50 sites on Bluehost. how do we move all of that without, wanting to leap out the window?
You sign up with A2, you open a support ticket, supply them the information, and watch the magic happen.
I love it. That's great.
There you go, buddy.
And they're going to kill me for saying that, but that's how it works.
Yeah.
Well, and let me ask you this, because this is great stuff, and like I said, I'm kind of using this to get information from me personally. So hopefully, you guys are all learning out of this as well. But when it comes to that, now, if we're going to move, like I said, I've got Bluehost. I've been with them for over a decade, and I've got all these websites, and I'm going to move them over. Can they all just be moved over to that one VPS hosting, or do you think it should be separated out into different platforms? How would you recommend going for that? And to be honest, if I do that, I'd probably say only 5 or 6 sites really need to be moved. The rest could probably just be deleted anyway. But do you recommend them all going to the same account, or should you get different accounts for those?
When you say account, do you mean different instances of your VPS or actual different cPanel accounts?
Well, I'm thinking, as I'm looking at the VPS hosting, and for instance, they've got the Cloud VPS, $15 a month. Do I buy one VPS account at $15 a month and move all of my stuff in there with subdomains, or should I be getting multiple $15 a month accounts for those sites?
No, the first thing I would do is consult with one of those guys and kind of show them what you have going on. They've got live chat and that kind of thing, and anybody's welcome to reach out to me, and I can take a quick peek for them as well. But most of the time, a small VPS is going to work for most of the guys that haven't really scaled their business. And the great thing about A2 is because you're with a provider that's flexible, you can scale yourself out to their VPSs with just a simple support ticket or an upsell inside the website. So if you grow out of that $15 cloud VPS, you can open a ticket or sign up for the new one, and they'll move you over, really quick. But one should do it. And the reason I say that is because you're not going to run it like you're used to running a shared hosting. When everything gets moved over, you definitely want to request that each of those sites have their own cPanel, and those guys will do that for you. They're trained professionals in that stuff. And what that's going to do is, again, isolate the security risk, isolate the traffic. Everything you'll be able to monitor it. It is going to be a little more pain in the rear end when you're trying to do FTP and stuff, because you're going to have to keep a bunch more logins. But you're going to be given it's a user just under a user that you can log in with that account and switch with a drop down between the different accounts. So one VPS for a small to medium sized marketer like you guys, or you're big league, so you may want a bigger one. But
you know what? Not when it comes to websites, though.
I know. I'm
not.
It's tongue in cheek. But just to give you an idea, there's a couple of Facebook marketers. I do their WordPress maintenance, and I do new site launches and stuff for them. And they're 6-figure launchers. They've done 7-figure product stuff, and they're on an A2, the higher end VPS. I think it's called Premier Plus or something like that. And they were with another provider. Then, as the sign up process was happening, the limits of that host were causing all kinds of database issues. Where if Ray was in the middle of his sign up and I signed up, I would get my account with Ray's name, but my email address and Ray's payment information.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
that was just a nightmare, because you got thousands of transactions happening per hour, and that's never happened with A2, because we consulted with them and they gave us the best option for their business model. So definitely don't be in a hurry. Kind of plan it out when it's going to fit your schedule. Let those guys know what your needs are, and they're going to take excellent care of you.
Yeah, that's exciting stuff to hear about, because I know one of the biggest issues that we've seen lately is, Johnny Marketer has a new product coming out, and of course, an hour into the launch of the product, his entire site's going down because it's just getting hammered by thousands of people all at the same time, and that's the type of stuff we want to. And I'm sure, even with the VPSs and things like that, you get hammered that hard all at once, it's probably going to cause issues anyway. But certainly much less so than if you're on a shared hosting where they'll purposely shut you down.
Yes, they'll think some sort of malware is going on. But the great thing about being with a smaller provider, now just because they're smaller doesn't mean they're not quality. But somebody like A2, they're really geared towards WordPress. All you have to do is kind of let them know, this is what I'm about to do. Here's the traffic I expect, and I need your help making sure that my Apache sessions have the right configuration, and there's just a few little tweaks that can be made to really save a lot of headache.
Nice. That's really good to hear, because that's something that I'm looking forward to on that is getting something that's not going to be destroyed when we do our next launch, which could be kind of a scary proposition. So
no, this has been great, easy to understand advice.
Yeah, absolutely. So and to kind of end it off here, because I know we're already past 1 o'clock here in my time. So the one thing I'd say, John, tell people, where can they get more information about you, especially because, like I said, you've helped me a lot, and I know there's people listening here now that probably do launches and things of that nature that could use your services in not only advice for hosting and whatnot, but creating their websites and helping them get them put together properly. So how can they get more information about you?
Well, they can definitely look me up in your mastermind Facebook. I try to stay as active in there as I can. They're welcome to reach out to me on Facebook. You can reach me at localmarketingpros.com. If you find me on Facebook and you want to connect on Twitter or something, you can copy my name and Google me and see all the different places I am across the web. Pretty unique name. But definitely don't be a stranger. My business is here, and I'm here to help. It's really teaching and helping and paying forward the success that's been paid forward to me is a big part of my business. So,
and I can say from experience that John, you definitely do a great job of that. You truly have a servant's heart, and even I don't know if I want to bring this out, but I'm going to say it anyway, just to give you a bit of a shout out. Is we had somebody the other day that was having issues with installing a new WordPress product, I guess would be the right word, and John jumped right in and helped her to get it all set up, and did it just out of the kindness of his heart, and I know he spent probably a lot more time than he would have liked to, but he did it without any complaints, and just did a great job. And so I really appreciated him helping me to be able to help her, and it all seemed to turn out well. So John, I appreciated that very much, and hopefully we can all give back to you for all that you've given to us, and we really do appreciate everything you do. So, and I appreciate you coming on today as well.
Well, it's my pleasure. Again, there's been kindness paid towards me as I learned and tried to learn new products, and if I'd have read the directions for that product you were referring to, instead of being Johnny Know-It-All, it would have been done a lot faster. But
yes, but that's a man thing.
Yeah, well, and to my defense, I was sitting in the terminal of an airport as well.
Yes,
so that was a lot of fun. But she was happy when it was all said and done. And again, that's just part of being a community and helping each other be successful. One of the biggest tarnishes on our industry, when I say our industry, it's internet marketing in general, is the fear mentality. People are so scared to share information because they think that you're going to steal it and go make more money than them. And I won't drink that Kool-Aid. And,
I've noticed the guys that have hearts of servants make more money, but the money is not the overriding factor. It's just being of service.
It's not. Especially, for me, and I can attest to this with my interactions with Ray, it's more about a quality of life and the principles that we live by in our lives. For me, it goes all the way to how I treat my family. That's part of my success, not the amount of money in my wallet. Now, I want enough in my wallet to feed my family? Absolutely. So, unfortunately, I do have to charge for some services, but I really enjoy giving away as much as I can because it is exponentially returned to me.
Yeah, beautiful. And I don't think we could end the show better than that line right there. So with that, I think we will end the show and say thank you, John, once again for joining us. And again, if you want to learn more about John, or you want to hear some information about John, or get some advice, he is, like you said, almost always on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/groups/online video marketers.
John, I knew a lot about you before I even met you because of your visibility in social media.
Well, thank you. I've been really working on that because it's been a weak point for me.
Yeah, you're stronger than most, I'll tell you that. So.
Well, thank you. I really enjoyed being here, guys. It's a very, very humbling experience.
Oh,
beautiful. Well, we appreciate you coming on and doing that today because it's very, very useful for us. And don't go too far because, I've got some issues, as you know, that I'm trying to sort of figure out today as well. So,
just what kind of psychological issues?
Yes, those two.
That's outside my pay grade.
John, did you know Ray likes men?
What?
I said, did you know Ray likes men? It was a dumb gay joke. Or as they said on what was it, Seinfeld? Not that there's anything wrong with that. So
not that there's anything wrong.
That's how they got away with making gay jokes. So anyhow, you're just saying that. You got a tip of the week?
Of course I do.
Okay, hold on here just a second. There it is. And now, tip of the week with Ray the Video Guy.
Yes, today's tip of the week actually is an interesting little tidbit, and I'll be completely honest and tell you I haven't even had too much chance to really use this yet, but it's actually from those lovely people at Skype, and it's a product called Skype Quick, QIK. And what it is essentially a video message center. So literally you download the app for your phone and you open it up and you can actually send video messages to people right from inside. It's very similar to Skype, but it's more specifically towards video mail, I guess would be the word for it. And I don't have too much to say about it other than the fact that you can send messages to clients, friends, family very quickly and easily. And all you have to do is record and send to them, and they get the message on their side. So there you go. That's Skype Quick. And all you have to do is search it up for Skype QIK.
QIK, Skype Quick.
QIK.
I'll put that in. Oh, sorry. Dropped my pen. See, if Will Pettit was here, he'd be joining in on the stupid jokes.
That's right. He would.
That was another stupid joke. All right. Anyhow, John, do you know Will?
I've heard Ray mention it a few times, but I have not had the pleasure of meeting or talking.
It's not much of a pleasure.
Yeah, it's not a pleasure though. Major wise ass like me. See, John, what you got to understand is I'm a comedic genius to me.
I am too to me. My wife doesn't like my jokes anymore.
One time my wife said to me, I know you think you're a comedic genius, but you're really just a pain in the ass.
My wife's just a little more friendly than that, but I get the same thing.
And my wife also calls me odd and foolish. So
yeah, I get strange, odd, foolish. Yeah.
And they say you shouldn't complain. Now, I do to my wife, but she's not listening. So okay, enough stupid jokes for today.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. I agree. Thanks. Yes, they are.
Well, folks, that wraps up another week of Video Marketing Madness. And it is madness. There's no doubt about that. So we look forward to next week having a new guest and having all of you join us then, because we'll have some more great information. And in the meantime, hope you all have a productive and hard week. And not a hard week, but work hard all week. I hope you have a very difficult week, you pains in the butts.
He said hard.
I hope you have a week filled with great hard work that you benefit off from. There you go.
He said hard. It's the online marketing radio show, Video Marketing Madness, with Ray the Video Guy, and I'm not going to admit to being Steve Sleeper because who knows what's going to happen. Our guest today, now, John, is it Bendever? Bendever? Is that right?
Yeah, you can go with Bendever, Bendever,
Bendever,
Bendover, Bendever.
Bendover, yeah.
It all happens. It's okay.
Bendover has been here. Ben Dover has been here.
Yes.
But a great show on building websites, changing hosts, which is huge. Today's show made possible by
AWeber, the easy way to do email marketing. And I believe at the front of the show I said raisebonuses.com/AWeber. It's actually raisethevideoguy.com/AWeber. And you can actually get your email marketing, and you can even start for as little as $1 to get yourself going. So it's an exciting way to do email marketing, which really should be probably your first priority in whatever you do, is to start collecting that list and then, of course, marketing to that list. So there you go.
Hey, I made some sale on the arthritis medications the other day.
Wonderful. See,
Yeah.
there you go. Straight from video to sales to money in your pocket.
I was making like $100 a month on that, John, and then Google hammered it, and it just fell off the face of the planet, and I forgot all about it. And then I got an email saying, you made a sale. I have no idea where it came from. Must be a video I put out there, I guess.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure people on YouTube are scaling through and finding those things. So sometimes when Google hits you, at least it stays on YouTube, and then people will find it there. So
it either came from the video, or more likely it came from AWeber, I'm guessing. So
could be that as well.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. Anyhow. You can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Video Marketing Madness. Get plenty of useful tips and news of the week. Useful tip, if you want to see the useful tips in your news feed, just go to the page and like a few of the posts.
Which I just did. I did that earlier. Yes. And then maybe I'll see them.
You're all right. I don't care what John says about you. Ray's Facebook Mastermind group is groups/online video marketers, and that's really a good mastermind group. You can get views for your videos. You can get questions answered. John's in there. If he's got time, he'll answer your questions, as does Ray. I try to, but typically I give the wrong answer. So
there you go.
That was another joke. Boy, my jokes just aren't good today. Let's give Will Penn a call. All right, guys.
Well, until next week, everybody, keep it moving.
Yeah, and have a good one.
He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy.